Hey, good morning. Welcome to your morning drive. This is Chuck. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day. Starting a little cold here in Tennessee this morning, but my subject this morning is enjoy things while they're there. Don't take things for granted, and don't, wish your life away, I guess you could say. I mean, because it's been, oh gracious, 5-6 years ago, I get a call from my dad on a Saturday night, and he says, hey, my stomach's hurting real bad. I can't get to quit. You got anything I can take? So I take him some Phenergan and some Levison. I go over there and give that to him, and I find out he's been dry heaving all day, or he's hurting so bad, and he's nauseous, he hadn't been able to eat. And my dad at this point is in his early 70s, and he's been pretty healthy, and I'm like, this is strange. So I finally talk him into going to the ER. So take him, like I say, this Saturday night, they gave him 2 doses of morphine, something else. It finally kills the pain, he goes to sleep. Well, they decided to keep him because they done an x-ray. They saw something in the x-ray in his abdomen. Well, come to find out, basically, either Sunday or Monday, he had Sunday they found out he had a mass in his abdomen, and they did a biopsy on Monday, and it said it was a really slow-growing but really aggressive form of cancer that was really resistant to chemo and radiation. And I'm like, well, what we're going to be doing? And they never really tell me. So I get a call Tuesday morning. Oh, hey, we moved your dad to ICU. His organs are shutting down. How long do you want us to try to resuscitate, before we give up? I'm like, excuse me, the man's been perfectly healthy, and now you're telling me he's getting ready to kick over. So in the span of, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 3 or 4 days, he went from everything seemed fine to basically that afternoon at about 6:30, he died. Something I wasn't expecting. My mom had a bunch of health issues. I always figured she'd be the one to go first. Even Dad sort of figured that too, because she was actually a few years older than my dad too, about 3 years older. Excuse me, sinuses this morning. So, I guess I never, it's one of them things when it just happens suddenly like that, you're always like, I should have spent more time with, should have hung out more, should have done this, should have done that. And I will say the thing they always say, usually a partner lasts about a year, especially when they're elderly. Mom was just a few days shy of a year. And of course, she'd have congestive heart failure. She had a bunch of other stuff going on. She had osteoporosis, but she stayed by herself for that last year. She done pretty good. She became real dependent on me. I wound up having to go over there every day, which you can ask my wife. That used to, irritate me sometimes. I had to make an appearance every day. But I know she was, I realized she was lonely and everything, and then she passed, which wasn't that unexpected because her health was slowly declining over several years. Because, like I said, congestive heart failure especially, it comes to a point where you give a person fluids, and then it gets around their heart, makes it rough. Then you take fluids away, and they get dehydrated. So it's just it's a balancing game, especially when they get excessively old. Because my mom was, mom was 79, I think. Yeah. She's an antique, but and even though I was there a lot, I still feel like there's probably more I should have done, more I should have been there, for her. Even though I knew she was going to be passing, I still didn't. You don't think about it until they're actually not there. And even with the living, you realize that you need to do more things with. I mean, I've got one son that doesn't really have anything to do with him anymore. He has some issues, and he stays with his mom, and even when I text him, I never hear nothing back. But that's part of life. And I've got another son that I hear from him every now and then. He calls me, letting me know how things are doing, and he's good. He's good about checking in every now and then, see how things are going. And then I've got a third son, my actual stepson, and he's a good boy too. They're all 3 good boys. Can't say nothing bad about any of them. They're all 3 good boys, but like teenagers, they've made. I think poor decisions at times, but I guess we all do that. But once they're out of the house now, and like I say, he's a good boy too. We hear from him every now and then. It just comes down to you need to enjoy the time while somebody's around. You need to take care of that person. You need to do everything you can for them. It's like even with people you're still close to. Perfect example here, my wife. When I met her, she was pretty healthy, except she had really bad migraines. And this has been about 12 years ago. We've been married for about 10 years now. And, well, as a matter of fact, it'll be 10 years this year. But she had the migraines, and then, she started having some intestinal problems, digestive problems. She's nauseous and hurting all the time. And the migraines got real bad, and we was having trouble finding a neurologist that could really do anything for her. And since then, she's wound up getting interstitial cystitis, which, if you don't know anything about that one, look it up, because it's horrible. Just imagine having a bladder infection constantly, but no infection, just the pain and discomfort, and you pee like a 90-year-old woman. And then she's wound up having lupus, and also a lupus anticoagulant, which caused her to throw a blood clot, which she could have died from. And, I know that, I've been there for her, and there's more things I probably should have done for her too, and things I should have done different, even though she's still here. But then I look at and here's the second part of this one. I look at, hang on, let me fix my light here. I won't come back on. Oh, well. Then I look at what modern medicine, there we go, what modern medicine has done to her. When she started out, we thought it was all a digestive thing. We saw what we thought was, or what we were told was, the best GI doctor anywhere around here. Well, push come to shove, he basically had her on 5 muscle relaxants, and he couldn't figure out why she only pooped once a month. Of course, that caused a lot of discomfort. That was poisoning her system, because it was sitting in there and being reabsorbed, and then it would be near impossible for her to go. We'd have to get her enemas and take different medicines, just to try to get her to move. So we basically sort of fired that guy, moved on to another one, which actually is a wonderful GI doctor. Took her off all that stuff. She's on really one medication right now, but we're getting ready to go back to him because she's still having some issues. It's sort of changed a little bit, but so modern medicine and a doctor messed her up on that end, because not being able to poop but once a month. Come on, guys. Even, of course, that particular GI doctor had a catering business that he talked about more than he did treatment with his patients when you saw him. But anyway, then unfortunately she wound up getting put on pain medication. She's been put on medications for anxiety and depression, because she has anxiety and depression. And because of the interaction of the medications, there's limitations on each of those, the ones for the pain and the anxiety and depression. So we really can't treat either one adequately. It's sort of you get a little more of this one, but you got to take less of this one. You get a little more of this one, you got to take less of this one. So nothing actually completely helps her. So not only with the migraines, the interstitial cystitis, the lupus, the blood clot, the anxiety, the depression, not being able to eat, it's just been really, really rough on her. And like now, her depression and anxiety has not only turned from that, but into anger. I mean, she hates herself for the way she is. She hates herself for being sick, and it's actually boiled down to where she can't stand anybody around her either. So just imagine living with somebody that you love so much that can't stand to be around you. They can't even stand to be around themselves. She's constantly now having to do things to try to distract herself, just to take her mind off of it, because nothing's helping make her feel better. And it's just really sad to see somebody go through that. So the whole gist of this whole deal here is, modern medicine is killing people and messing people up worse than the diseases they have, at least in my opinion. I mean, I don't take the best care of myself. I don't eat like I should. I don't exercise like I should. And you can see I carry some extra weight here. So I have to take a cholesterol medicine, let's see, a blood pressure medicine, and there's a third one for something else. I forget now. It's something that potassium. I take potassium. But if I actually ate right, exercised more, and done stuff, I'd probably either take less of or get rid of some of these pills. But I think it should go to more of a holistic thing. They should be able to find things to do for you to help you besides just throw pills at you. And that seems to be what all doctors do. They just throw pills at you. Then if anybody out there like my poor wife has had to deal with getting pain medication now and having to go to pain clinics and all that crap, it's ridiculous. I know we live in the opioid abuse capital of the world, even living in the eastern United States. But still, when you've got somebody that follows all the rules, does everything they're supposed to, they're, every time they have a pee test, it's perfect. Their pill counts are perfect. They do everything you tell them to do, but it's not working. Help them more, change something up, do something for them. Work with these people. not just classify them like every other person that abuses medication in the world and not treat them right. But like I say, we all just need to sit down. We need to cherish the time we have with everybody. If you want to be with those people, and especially if those people are there for you, really think about what you're doing. I mean, I know I haven't acted right towards my wife in the past. I know that, it gets, you love someone, you care about them, but it gets kind of old, and maybe you don't, well, where they're feeling bad all the time, maybe you don't seem to be as concerned as you once were, but when something becomes the normal, you sort of react to it that way. And that's the problem that the people that does that have, that you need to learn not to do. Just because, they're sick all the time doesn't mean you don't need to show them that same compassion you did before. Even though you feel it, you're just not necessarily showing it. Just like, wish I spent more time with my dad before he passed. So I mean, it's a catch-22. It's hard to do. And I know I'm rambling this morning, but I hadn't done a video in a while, and I've just been thinking about all this stuff. And it's just really horrible the way modern medicine does people. And it seems like, with my dad, if he'd had this cancer growing for a while, there should have been some little signs you'd think the doctor would have picked up on and maybe say, hey, let's do an x-ray, you're having a lot of digestive problems. He's always taking Tums and Rolaids, and always had a little bit of indigestion, but, we all attributed it to being older. Well, it wasn't. It was cancer growing in him. But, and I know he told the doctor that, and, then it seems like the doctor should have said, hey, let's do a little x-ray. Maybe if they'd caught it sooner, it wouldn't have gotten so big. And apparently, I don't know if it ruptured or what, that it caused him to have organ failure. Never did really go there. Didn't have an autopsy done. Just didn't want to go there. I mean, he's gone, so what's the use? Not like I was going to sue anybody anyway. But cherish the time you have with people. Let people know how much you care for them. Do the things you need to do for them. Oh, yeah, that's the thing. Love language. Learn what somebody's love language is and what you need to do to make them feel loved. I mean, like, here's a perfect example. My wife's not a real touchy-feely person. She appreciates the things you say to her. Like, I'll say little things like, hey, look, I don't care what's going on. I'm always going to be here with you. I'm always going to take care of you. That's what she wants to hear. With me, I want to be held. I want a hug. That shows me that you're going to be here. So, and we've each learned that. And when you're with somebody, you learn what they need to make them feel good. And that's what you need to do. Like with my mom, I learned I had to go over there every day. If I didn't, I'd get my oldest son to go by there and check on her. Like if I had to work later, had something else going on, he'd go by and check on her. But it's all it'd be, where's Chuck at? Is he going to come by? You sure you're not going to come by? Is he going to come by? So learn what people need and try your best to give it to them. If you love and care for that person, you want to be around them. Let's see if there's anything else. I've touched on the medicine. I've touched on love language. I've touched on, and, it all really boils down to be there for the people you love. Enjoy the time you have with them. It's sad when they're gone, but you try to go back and look at the happy times. And that's all you can do is look at the happy times, because that's the hardest thing there is. Like with my wife, the hardest thing for her right now is being happy with herself. I mean, like I say, just imagine, constant pain between, migraines, the interstitial cystitis, the digestive issues she has, which still nobody's ever really figured out what causes it. The lupus, having a blood clot, she's going to be on blood thinner medicine for the rest of her life now. It's just, I know it's difficult on her, and you really hate it because there's nothing you can do. You can't reach in, you can't, somebody's got a sore back, you can rub their back for them, but you can't reach in and rub their bladder. And with her, she gets all upset because if we do go to eat somewhere, she'll say, well, I hate to waste food. I said, look, it's not wasted. I know you can't eat much. You get full real quick. It hurts if you eat too much. It hurts if you eat. So, if you eat a few bites off something you order, I don't care. I just want you to be happy for those few moments. I try to do things to help you be happy for those few moments of your normal daily life. So, be there for a person that way, and, show them how you love them, learn what they need for you to show them how much you love them, and be there and do that for them. All right, well, I've rattled on enough for the day. I hope everybody has a wonderful day. And to all my loved ones, my 3 sons, my wife, all my family I still have, I love you all very much, and I hope everybody has a wonderful day.